A veterans charity is holding walks right across Canada today, hoping to shine a light on the struggle of homelessness among Canadian veterans. And they're doing that by walking in cities across the country, seeking out vets living on the streets. They're talking with them and offering them support. It's the first time this kind of effort has been made on a national scale. The search is being coordinated across 13 Canadian cities, including Halifax, Toronto, Calgary, and Vancouver. Debbie Lowther is the co-founder of Veterans Emergency Transitions Services Canada. She founded the organization behind the walk. We reached her in Surrey, BC. Thanks for taking the time out, Debbie. Appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for speaking with me.
It's such important work. Your walk has begun on the east side of this country. You'll be heading out shortly to take part in the walk in Vancouver, particularly. But tell me more about where you're going to go and what this is all about.
So today in Vancouver, we're going to be going to the downtown east side, so Hastings Street, just down in that area where the homeless population is quite large. So walking the streets, just chatting with people, offering some assistance and, hoping that we can help some people today, as well as raise awareness. Canadians are very kind people. And they support a lot of things like we've seen recently with, the Syrian refugees coming to the country, the fires in Fort McMurray. But Canadians can't support something that they don't know about. So we're hoping that we can, shine a spotlight on the issue of veteran homelessness.
How did you come up with the idea of a walk?
Well, one of the things that our organization does regularly, and one of the things that kind of sets us apart, is that we actually do periodically go out into the streets looking for homeless veterans. So this is not really a new thing for us. It's just that we've decided to do it on such a large scale and do it in all these cities across the country on the same day. Because a lot of veterans do want support, but they're reluctant to go to places like Veterans Affairs. So, we come to them and then we act as an intermediary between them and Veterans Affairs or other social supports that they might be entitled to.
How did you get involved in this cause?
Well, my husband is a veteran himself, and he was medically released from the military and, struggling to figure out what he was going to do with his life once his military career ended. So he went to a Sunday supper in Halifax and was serving a supper for those less fortunate, and he stumbled across a veteran that he had served with who was there getting a hot meal. And proceeded to point out others in the room who were also couch surfing, living rough. So it was one of those things that it just kind of slapped us in the face. And, we felt like we had seen it, we couldn't unsee it. So we felt like we had to do something about it. So we did.
We hear these stories often about veterans that get left out in the cold, really. And you're hearing and seeing these vets for yourself, hearing their personal stories, and as you say, quite an emotional toll, I would imagine. But what would you say is a standout for you in all the vets you've come across?
Well, everybody's situation is different, and, some of them are just very tragic circumstances, but it seems like a lot of these men and women just don't make that successful transition from the military to civilian life, and they're kind of left floundering. But like you said, a lot of really emotional stories and situations, particularly when there's families involved. For the most part, the veterans that we see are single because the families have fallen by the wayside. But when the family is still involved, it's a positive thing that the family is still together, but at the same time, it's that much more sad that a whole family is going through a situation like that.
Debbie, we are running out of time, but when you meet up with these vets and if they do take on your offer of assistance, where do they go?
Well, if somebody on the street today is willing to accept help that we have to offer them, we would put them in temporary accommodations and then work with them to connect them to Veterans Affairs or other social support networks that they may be entitled to benefits, and then kind of walk with them every step of the way is one of the things that we do, just kind of take them by the hand and guide them.
Good luck with your work. Thanks, Debbie.
Thank you for having me.
Debbie Lowther is the co-founder of Veterans Emergency Transitions Services Canada. We reached her in Surrey, BC. The Vancouver Walk begins at 1 Pacific, 4 Eastern Time.